In 1943, American soldiers in North Africa began hearing a woman's voice on their radios. She called herself Midge. She played American swing music. She read hometown news from Ohio and Texas. Then she said, "Your girlfriend is probably dating a 4F by now." The men called her Axis Sally. The nickname was dismissive. The effect was not. A 1944 military survey found that nearly half of all American GIs in the European theater had heard her at least once. A quarter listened regularly. The overlooked fact is that she was not a Nazi true believer when she started. She was a failed actress who could not pay her rent. By the time she finished, she had committed treason against a country she never really learned to love. Mildred Gillars was born in Portland, Maine in 1900. Her father abandoned the family when she was 6. That loss never quite healed. She studied acting at Ohio Wesleyan and then at Boston University. She had talent, but not the luck or the connections that talent often requires. In the 1930s, she moved to New York and failed. She waited tables, she auditioned, nothing stuck. In 1934, she followed a boyfriend to Germany. The romance died. The country did not. She enrolled at Berlin University to study music and languages. For the first time in years, she felt stable. When war broke out in 1939, she was trapped. The German government would not issue exit visas to American citizens. She decided to make the best of it. She found work as a radio actress and announcer. The pay was decent. The hours were regular. She told herself it was just a job. In 1941, a German programmer asked her to host a new show aimed at American GIs. The pitch was simple: play their music, sound friendly, and slowly feed them doubt. She called the show Home Sweet Home. She opened with, "I'd like to get you on a slow boat to China," and then asked, "Why are you dying for Churchill and the Jews?" The first reaction from American troops was mockery. They called her Axis Sally, after the better-known Lord Haw Haw. But mockery is not immunity. The danger was cumulative. A single broadcast was absurd, but 100 broadcasts, each one chipping at the idea that the war was worth fighting, could, find a crack. In 1944, she broadcast a play called Vision of Invasion. It depicted American mothers receiving telegrams about their sons dying on a beach. In the play, the mothers wept and asked why. The broadcast aired shortly before D-Day. Gillars later claimed she did not know the actual invasion date. The United States attorney who prosecuted her did not believe that. By late 1944, her life had turned. The studio was bombed. The food rationing was severe. She had an affair with a German SS officer who was later killed on the Eastern Front. Her last broadcast was in May 1945, just before Berlin fell. She was found by American military police, weeping, in a boarding house. She was arrested and flown back to the United States. The press, called her the blonde traitor. She called herself a victim of circumstances. Her trial began in 1949. The prosecution played recordings of her broadcasts. The jury heard her say, "Franklin Roosevelt is a Jew-ridden warmonger." Her defense was that she had been coerced. But the prosecution pointed out that she had renewed her German work contract twice, voluntarily. She was convicted of treason. The sentence was 10 to 30 years in federal prison. She served 12. She was released on parole in 1961. She moved to a convent in Ohio and then to a small apartment in Columbus. She taught music and German. She died in 1988 at the age of 87. The university she had once attended did not issue a statement. Mildred Gillars is not a story about evil. It is a story about how ordinary failure can curdle into something worse. Her broadcasts worked not because they were brilliant, but because they were patient. She did not scream. She played your favorite song, and then asked a quiet question. Modern military doctrine calls this demoralization through familiar voices. The Axis Sally case became a textbook example of why you do not let the enemy sound like home. She was never a master propagandist. She was a lonely actress who found an audience that could not turn her off. That is the more common tragedy. Subscribe to War Machiner and share this if you value history that goes deeper. We do not do dramatization, we just do the story, clearly.